and leave your house for what might be the last time. This has happened to me a couple of times. This has happened to me several times when I lived in the mountains of Santa Cruz and I had to evacuate my home from potential threats from forest fires, and then several times again when we moved closer into town and the San Lorenzo River became my backyard. This is when I've had to evacuate my home several times due to the threat of flooding. This is a very terrifying experience, and according to the New York Times, according to an article published in the New York Times in October 2016 by Christopher Mele, fear is actually a good tactic to get people to actually evacuate because they realize the gravity of the situation. While the situation is very scary, there are ways to prepare for it if it ever is to happen to you. Two of these ways include knowing your surroundings and in the moment of the evacuation, knowing how to act. So while you may think that you know your neighborhoods, because this is where you've grown up your whole life, it's important that you really understand your surroundings and all the ways that you can get out. According to the official website of the Department of Homeland Security, it's important that you plan with your family exactly where and how to meet up in the event of an emergency. The first step is to make a plan of action with a SWAT of when and how to meet up. Last summer, we got evacuated for flash flood warning, and I was actually not at home at this time. It was 1 in the morning, and my mom calls me, and so when she called me, I drove home, but by the time I got there, all our streets were already flooded, and so I couldn't actually get to my house. But we had already had a plan of where to meet up, and so I knew exactly where and how to go find her, and this eliminated a lot of stress from my life and hers, because we don't have service in our neighborhood, so when I got there and I couldn't actually get to my house, I knew exactly where to find her, and she was good. The next step after making a meeting spot is knowing all your evacuation routes. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, it's important that you know all the exit routes near your house and what to do if any of them are to become blocked. According to an article published by the Red Cross, it's important that you don't drive across any moving water. Even if you think that your car is able to make it across, this is important that you don't do this because you don't know the conditions underneath the water and you don't know if your car is going to be washed away. At this point, you need to find a different exit route or way to be rescued if all of your exit routes are closed. It's important that you're able to safely and effectively get out of the danger zone, and if any of your usual paths are to be blocked by a hazard, you need to know what other ones you can take. While gathering your belongings may seem important, the most important thing to do in evacuation circumstances is to follow the sheriff's instructions and remain calm. You need to plan, while it is important to plan out what you want to happen, it's also important to plan to have everything not go exactly as you imagined. The main thing to do is to keep in mind the safety of you, the people you live with, and the people that are trying to rescue you. According to an article published by Deirdre Sullivan in House Logic, a really important step is to follow the officer's orders, and if at any point they're telling you to leave, you must leave at that time, or else you're going to put yourself in danger, and also other people that are trying to help. This actually happened to our neighbors 2 weeks ago when we got evacuated. They didn't leave in time, they didn't leave at the time that everyone was told to, and so they ended up having to be rescued by boat, which is kind of terrifying for the people that are rescuing because they had to go out in this rushing river and then get people out of a flooded house. So it's important that you listen to instructions when you're given them. While it is a really scary experience to have someone come knocking at your door and tell you that your home may be destroyed within seconds by any natural disaster, there are ways to prepare for this moment. You need to know how to evacuate your neighborhood and have backup plans for how to get out, and then the most important thing is to plan to put your safety above everything else. It's a really important thing to know that everything is going to be okay even if your stuff is not. This is a lesson I've really learned this week because this is what my house currently looks like. I've had to go home this past weekend and throw away a lot of my belongings because they're destroyed and we simply don't have time or space to keep them stored anymore. But it's really, I've come to terms with this because Mother Nature took its course. There's nothing you can do about that at a certain point. And everyone was safe in this process, and so no one got hurt by the rushing river. And this is because everyone knew how to act in the process. They knew how to exit our neighborhood when our main highway got washed away, and they knew how to follow the instructions of all the sheriffs that came to help out.